Roar. Growl. Snarl. Bellow.
Welcome to Paleobites, the podcast that, like the filter feeding of Shonisaurus, sucks. My name is Matthew Dahl, and each week I and a rotating series of guest co-hosts talk about and rate a genus of prehistoric animal, be it dinosaur, mammal, arthropod, and so on. This week I'm joined by someone, I was about to say who doesn't suck, and then I realized I might have used this joke before. I think I might have done this joke last week. I need to write my notes better. It's been a week, and how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Hi, everyone. And how are you, by the way?
I usually get rid of my notes. I get rid of my Welcome to Paleobites, the ones I've reused, so I don't reuse them. But I feel like I was about to say that joke, and I was like, wait a minute, I said this last week. So I apologize for doing the same joke 2 weeks in a row. Possibly, I don't know, I might be misremembering because I don't have a bad memory, but I have ADHD. I have been diagnosed with ADHD, so I forget things easily. It's not that so much I forget them, but they get put in a backlog in my memory. And then if you remind me
my
of it,
memory's pretty good, and I forget stuff just because there's constantly shit bouncing around in my brain.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. But it's funny, like, I won't say what it is specifically, because I know you want to keep that to yourself. But you were ranting about something to me yesterday, and I was about to say, because I rant, I sometimes need to vent a little bit too. And what I've been doing lately, I don't know if you use ChatGTP, but it's great to just use as a journal that talks back.
I do use it mainly just for polishing some of the stuff that I put on DL on my world building that I keep myself.
Oh yeah,
it's
great for
I've
stuff
always
like
had
that.
issues writing stuff out, and articulating is probably not the word because I'm typing it or writing and not speaking it, but I've never been good at description and stuff, so while I know people will think it's cheating, this is how I get my work done and out.
People always think the new technology is cheating until it's not like people like, oh, humans aren't creating art anymore, it's just the AI. I'm like, no, the humans are still creating the art, there's AI's just helping, like a tool. Like
there's always going to be traditional or digital artists even with AI, it just might not be commercial anymore.
Like that Megazoic movie that I've been working on. It's only possible thanks to AI. Like it's not gonna be fully AI. It's obviously normally to do indie animation, it would take so long. But AI allows a lot of shortcuts. Like I'm still doing a lot of it. Like, and the AI is just a really helpful tool. So.
Because it's not like you've got the time and resources to do it all in Flash, and doing that because Flash has been largely discarded anyway.
Yeah, I'm using something similar. That's like it's called Moho
animation. You need
animation.
a team to get it done in anything near a respectable time frame, and that costs money.
Yeah, no, but it's been good with that. I actually think ChatGPT is a godsend, and I know some people are like AI, and I'm like, look, it's fun. Like I would never use it to write my books specifically because that's just not how I like to write. But I'm totally fine with it brainstorming with it or like other sort of stuff. I often sometimes use it as a therapist too when my therapist isn't available, and I'm like, I need to talk to someone about my feelings.
Fair enough, reasonable.
Oh man. So, and again, it's not a licensed therapist. Get a real therapist, guys. But again, it's great it's like a non-evil version of Tom Riddle's diary from Harry Potter. It's a journal that talks back. But it's nice to, like you said, like tools are good. And one thing that's good about tools is you can use them because we have opposable thumbs. And speaking of opposable thumbs, we're talking about Kunpengopterus or Kunpengopterus. I don't know how it's Chinese. It means Kunpeng, named after a mythical Chinese.
One bit that's not hard to pronounce. It's a genus of wukongopterid.
Yes, named after a mythical Chinese creature that turned into from a giant fish into a giant bird is what Kunpeng is. But yeah, wukongopterid. It's called that because of Sun Wukong, you know.
Yeah, the Monkey King.
The Monkey King. And there's a reason why these are called that. Like I said, it has to do with the opposable thumbs that we found on this one. So these are transitional pterosaurs. So the type, it's a wukongopterid pterosaur, a transitional pterosaur that still had long tails, like the primitive kinds, and also started to develop the fancy head crests and other traits of the more derived ones, like the awkward teenager of the pterosaur family, basically. But yeah, they're called wukongopterids. Like Son Goku, Lego Monkey Kids, Smite. They all had Son Wukong.
So when you're saying they're transitional, are they sort of like displaying features of both the Rhamphorhynchonarchidae and pterodactyloid?
Yeah, like later on the Asdarchids sort of thing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
These are nowhere near as
proper or Sungariptus.
Yeah, exactly. So size 3 feet / 1 meter wingspan, 3 to 8 ounces, or 110 to 220 grams. If it's closer to 3 ounces, that's about the weight of my little cockatiel Lyra, which is cute. I know no one else will care about that, but I do. So. Diet carnivore, probably insectivore, piscivore, just assuming went after anything small enough to gulp, as long as it wasn't plants. I can relate. I don't want to eat my veggies, Mom. Time mid to late Jurassic, 164 to 155 million years ago. Location China, specifically from the sorry to all my Chinese listeners, Tiaoxiaxing Formation, a site rich in glorious gliders. Wukongopterids unite.
Give me a shot at pronouncing it, because my Chinese pronunciation's a little bit better since I have Dynasty Warriors as a source for things like Sao, not cow, for example.
Tiaoxiaxing. Taojishan, okay.
It could be pronounced as Saojishan.
Oh, it's true. Saojishan. Yeah, that's right. It's a Saojishan formation, yes. All right, described in 2010, pop culture appearances, Jurassic World the game, where it got its glorious moniker of monkey-dactyl. I gotta say, that's adorable. It certainly worked in terms of making it interesting, as I wouldn't have learned about it if I didn't see it in the game. So that's why representation is important, folks.
It's even depicted that way by people's art. Look at this. That's coming in.
That's cute.
I like the tails.
Yeah, why does it have 2 tails? Oh, there's 2 of them. Oh, okay. I just noticed they're hugging.
No, I mean just the tails, like 3 circles on the end. Like,
yeah, I like that too. That's cute. Yeah, and then those tails, that's really cool. But like the thing about opposable thumbs, that's what makes us better than other animals, apparently, as some might say. But apparently, other animals had them as well, and this is a very rare example of a non-mammal having them. It's the only pterosaur we know of to have them. This is where it gets its species name. See, the full name is Kunpengopterus antipolycatus, which literally translates to opposable thumb.
Well, there's also another species called K. sinensis.
Yes, but that was the one that was described in 2010, and that was when initially, before Kunpengopterus was really thought, the wukongopterids was not a thing back then in 2010. It was only in 2022 when they found another specimen where they found the opposable thumbs, and that's the other species. And
so this is like right now kind of discovery almost.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the other one we're going to talk about today too, which we'll get to, is also kind of similar. Because like while it was described earlier, it got more relevant now. So yeah, 2022 is when these really started to get more noticed in paleontology. Yeah, get more attention. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, it used them to probably climb trees, or as this cute little illustration you show me shows to hug each other. But one thing I'm wondering is like, why would this thing be arboreal?
Climbing cliffs and rocks as well too, depending on its habitat.
It can fly. Why does it need to climb? I guess, but I guess it's just...
it helps with flying, especially if the area isn't suited enough for the. I forget how it's described. Because the way we
arboreal?
now think pterosaurs launch themselves was like catapulting with their arms, eh?
Oh, yeah. I guess it's true. It can climb up a tree and then catapult them. But if it's only 3 feet wingspan and only at 8 ounces, yeah, so... But still, you're right, though, because, like, the guy had to do that 4-winged launch. But, like...
It's got very good use of its fingers, because he got the flight finger, the index finger, or whatever it is, the pinky, is the wing... Then you got the other 3 fingers in the middle for walking and clawing, and then it's got a thumb, so it still has 5 fingers.
Yes, that's true. This is
4.
3. I think it has 4, but maybe it has 5. I don't know. Like, I'll have to look into that. But so it's funny. Like, yeah, like it may have been helped with getting food too. Like maybe it could use it to like climb up to food and get bugs or whatever. Or get.
I like how in the art they've got the yellow head crest and then they got their reddish orangey kind of feathery plumage on their neck.
Yeah, and then the rest of it's white, which is an interesting choice. And the other one, so that's really pretty. These look really cool. And yeah, like the rhamphorhynchids, they have the long tails for sure. So even though these are a little bit different, anyway, there's a specimen of Kunpengopterus with the impression of an egg between its thighs and pelvis, which was probably expelled from the body during decomposition. So, this makes it one of the...
definitively say they were egg layers, then.
Oh, yes. This was one of the rare finds of pterosaur eggs we found. These eggs are about 0.2 ounces or 6 grams when they were laid, relatively tiny compared to the mother, but due to the moisture intake, they potentially doubled in weight by the time they hatched. At first, I was shocked to hear this, but I remember that growth exists in animals, and then I calmed down. So, which is weird. I guess the eggs to grow. It was weird to me. I guess they're growing inside the egg, so the egg itself is not really growing. Because if you ever seen anything hatch from an egg, there's by the time they're hatching, there is no room in there.
No, it's because they fold up and then they uncompress or uncompact or whatever.
Yeah, if you ever as someone who has cockatiels, I've never seen them hatching in person, but I've seen videos of them hatching and those weird featherless alien things that cockatiels start out as. And yeah, it's weird. You when they come out, they're like, "How were you fitting in that egg before?" Oh man. But according to
just looking at more art from this thing, and then someone's done a furry version.
Oh
okay,
no!
that's enough
Should I be
Google
scared?
image search for now.
Okay, yeah. Don't share it to me, or if you do, I'll brace myself. Good. I don't want to see furry art of Kunpengopterus. So I guess scaly. No, I guess it still would be furry art. There is a term for furry called scalies, which is like snakes and crocodiles.
I know. I just go by the term for all of them.
Well, and plus the pycnofibers or the feathers or whatever they have, that's kind of still technically a furry.
Yeah.
But
and I have no issue with people drawing animals and stuff like that, or anthros, like say, because I think that's what you'd call Big Bird, for example. But the actual subcommunity, whatever thing
it's proper, weird, but let them have their fun. I'm just gonna stay away from it.
I know. I stay away from the only area where I get really aggro about it and will speak out about it is the pornographic side of it. Because they do not leave you alone, and you're expected to respect them. And it's like, no, keep your kink away from me.
Yeah, like I used to date someone who years and years ago in college. Well, she wasn't too much of a furry. She was a little bit of a furry, but she was friends with some people who were furries. I remember going to one of their houses for a party, and they had just furry art just on the walls, including like a horseman, like a man with a horse's head and a human body and this giant ass cock, like just. And I'm like, just right there in the kitchen, and I'm like, why? Look, I mean, at least it's in his house.
The part of me that's very prudish.
Yeah, that's I'm just as long as they're not showing that in public, I guess. But they're hosting a party and I don't know. Look, people, all have our kinks, but man, it was just it made me very uncomfortable when I was there, and there was others like that too. Anyways, Kunpengopterus. The thing about these eggs is that we also found 2 active ovaries in the mother, which implies that they laid either a single or 2 eggs at a time, which also implies that rather than being like reptiles where they just laid a bunch of eggs and let them go off without parental care, like most reptiles or like kids in the 80s.
They invested into parental care, basically.
Exactly, yeah. They only laid a few. They only laid a few and then invested in parental care, which is pretty cool. So, in the forests, it lived alongside creatures like Anchiornis, Guanglong, Yellowopterus, that one from Jurassic World Evolution 2, the weird Ignorognathid. It lived alongside that. And it also lived, sort of, alongside my boy Sinraptor. Anytime there's even the tiniest chance one of my creatures, other creatures we covered, could have lived alongside my inexplicably favorite dinosaur in Star of Megazoic books, I will mention it. Doesn't matter if the formation isn't exactly the same. It's close enough, so I'm going to say it. Sinraptor and monkey-dactyl were best buds.
That's just making me remember back when I was a kid and I, pre 2000, where, because I didn't know about the differences like pronouncing things in Chinese and stuff like that, and didn't even really consume anything from China or sit there beyond the odd Jackie Chan thing.
Right.
I thought it was pronounced like
Sinraptor.
Looks in a book. So Sin, so I was calling it Sinram, saying, what crime did this thing commit?
yeah, it's a very sinful dinosaur. There's 7 of them found, and each one representing the different deadly sins, yeah. That'd be pretty cool. But no, I mean, it's Sinraptor. Did you ever see Life on Our Planet on Netflix?
No.
It's not really that great because it goes into the modern day too much. But there are some great little segments in the middle of it that show dinosaur times, and it does have Sinraptor in it. So I'm nice. It's good.
Nice.
It like there's a bit where it shows the evolution of birds, and it shows Anchiornis, and as it's like gliding and it's hopping around the forest trying to catch bugs, then a Sinraptor tries to chase it. and it's so cool. Morgan Freeman's narrating, and I'm like, and Morgan Freeman's like, a juvenile sign raptor is stalking. I'm like, yes, my boy, sign raptor, said by I was about to say the late and great Morgan Freeman, but he's still alive.
So. He is.
Yeah, he's really old though, so it's not. He doesn't look, not to be morbid, but he probably doesn't have long.
Yeah, it's probably the same with Attenborough as well. To be fair, because he's 99 this year.
Oh yeah, and same with Mel Brooks. He's 99 this year. So.
Shit, he is.
Yeah, he was born in 1926.
It's a real shame Richard didn't live as long as his brother, but then it seems to have been a broken heart in his case because he lost a daughter and a grandkid in the 2004 tsunami.
That can be a bit much for sure. But David's still kicking, even though he, like you say, he's 99, and he still does documentaries. If there's ever a Prehistoric Planet Season 3, I'll probably narrate that. And he'll talk like this for the animals. Blah, 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 blah. Just, that's my impression of David Attenborough. The animals. Anyways, I rate Kunpengopterus 30 million out of 65. Actually, no, that's a bit higher than that. 40 million out of 65 million. Because it's cool that it has opposable thumbs. And this artwork for it's really 45 to 50 million. 60 million. That's my final rating. It's a monkey-dactyl. That's pretty cool. Come on.
And I'm going to give it 65 for the same reason, both because the two bits of art that I showed you are blimmin' glorious.
They are, and I like how they both agree that the crest
they look good.
I love that they both agree the crest is orange.
And just because, also, thumb.
Yeah, thumb is good. We love thumb.
It's a big deal.
Thumb is good. These people these pterosaurs could thumb war each other, and that's always nice. So,
And other than that being completely arbitrary, there's not much else that I know about this one. I was just searching up pterosaurs for us to fill in for a slot on this, and I was like, oh, that one sounds interesting.
Oh, yeah, I learned about this, like I said, from Jurassic World, the game, the Ludia stuff, where you can have monkey-dactyls.
See, I don't play that one because
you smart. Smart. I spent so much money on it. It's more predatory than any of the dinosaurs featured in that app is, but I fall for it.
Because otherwise you have to wait for one of those typical cell phone / tablet game type things where you've got to wait 24 hours to do X amount of things.
You know what mobile game is good? That you still have to do that a little, but it's not nearly as bad. If you want a mobile city builder, get Theotown. THEO Town. It's kind of like SimCity, but on your phone, built for the phones, and it's really good. And it's free, so there's still some in-app purchases, but you can play it really easily.
It's monetized, but not predatorily, so it's free to play.
Yeah, and also, if you want, you can just play it for fun for a long time without having to just wait around. So
sounds interesting, but I won't give it a look purely because I do not want my phone to also become a gaming thing, considering how hard a phone is for me to use.
Fair enough.
It's bad enough that I use it for reading at work and that, because it's like, well, if you're going to be in the loo for a bit, you might as well read something.
Yeah, no, it's great for loo stuff. I'm on TikTok too often and when I use my phone.
Get off it! It rots your brain.
I know it does, but it's so. I love the brain rot. I want to see people.
To Arnold. Oh,
no,
maybe
Arnold, you don't understand.
Godparents.
I don't understand, Arnold. I gotta use TikTok. It's fine. My brain no rotting from TikTok.
Okay, when did you turn into a Stegosaurus?
Bad
mud.
Mud love TikTok. Anyways, that's it for this week.
The hell out of people.
That was it for this week. If you want to get a hold of the show, you can contact me at palebytespodcast@gmail.com, Palebytes Podcast on Blue Sky and on Instagram, or you can find me on social media at Matthew Donald Creator on Facebook and Matthew Donald 64 everywhere else. So like Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok. Ben, the only social media he's on is Facebook, and that's more like for friends. He doesn't have a professional social media account, so if you have a question for him, just send me an email, and if with any questions of mine, I'll relay them to him.
And if by some chance someone finds me on DeviantArt under my username, please don't contact me on there.
Fair enough. If anyone found my DeviantArt, I'd be nervous.
Well, no, it's more I use that for alt history stuff in the community arts that I'm busy on there, and I make habit if anyone I don't know that randomly sends me requests and stuff on there, I ignore or block. because there's too many weirdos.
Fair enough. There are a lot of weirdos. When you try to make your work public, you have to deal with weirdos. So, anyways, I have a book series on Amazon Megazog available for print and Kindle. There is no Kunpengopterus in it because I don't really focus too much on the pterosaurs, although I would like to change that. If in the Megazog movie there's more pterosaurs, well, there wouldn't be this because it's Jurassic, but although maybe later. Long story. But, I don't know. We'll have to see. I want to put more pterosaurs in the Megazog movie, though, because I think they're an array group to focus on. But anyways, yeah, that's it for this week. Because at the end of every episode of Paleobites, we're like Wario, or Donald Duck. I'm a Wario. Thanks for listening. If you want to further support the show, you should subscribe to my Patreon at patreon.com/MatthewDonald, where you can get ad-free episodes, and you can get the raw, unedited episodes, and every month you get bonus episodes where we talk about pop culture featuring prehistoric animals. We've talked about Jurassic Park, we've talked about the obscure strategy game Dino Island, we've talked about Friends, we've talked about Google Chrome, we've talked about Dinoverse, we've talked about Terra Nova. Who knows what we'll talk about? It's a mystery every time. So go and check it out at patreon.com/MatthewDonald. Thank you so much for listening, and have a good day. Chomp.